Hey everybody, hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome back to part 7 of What If the Z Fighters Became Saiyans. Now, before we begin, as always, I'm OG Brown Nerd. If you're a fan of anything anime, Marvel, DC, basically all things nerdy, follow me because I talk about everything. We are so close to 7,000 subscribers. After the 7 years since Majin Buu, the Dragon Ball Z world has finally found some semblance of peace. The Z Fighters, fueled by their new Saiyan battle instincts, have never stopped training. Tien, Yamcha, and Krillin kept pace with Goku and Vegeta. This in turn caused Gohan and Piccolo to maintain their own power so they don't get left behind. Everyone is kinda relative to each other right now. The Z Saiyans honed their ultimate forms while Goku and Vegeta focused on this version of Super Saiyan 4. Gohan still got with Videl and he is currently expecting his first child, Pan. He was also working on his own unique transformation. On Bulma's birthday, Goku and Vegeta are sparring with each other above the cruise ship when suddenly they feel a strange presence. Lord Beerus and Whis arrive on the ship. "What's that?" Goku asks while squinting down at them. "A giant cat?" The two descend down and Beerus greets them. "Ah, I found you, Goku and Vegeta, right?" It's been a long time since the Prince of Saiyans has seen Beerus, but when he recognizes him, he immediately drops to his knees, telling Goku to do the same. This is Lord Beerus, the destroyer god of their universe. He's come to check on the Saiyans and apparently the Earth is brimming with them. He wants to know if they know anything about a Super Saiyan god and he begins examining each of the Saiyans individually. He begins with Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha, and Whis informs Beerus that these were not born Saiyans. They actually wished to become Saiyans in order to defeat an incoming threat. You see, the Earth has magical wish orbs like the planet Namek in which they can grant the user any wish. Beerus is interested and he looks at Krillin. This is the small one that defeated Frieza by going Super Saiyan? Whis confirms as he plays the battle on his staff. Krillin sheepishly nods as he says, yeah, he hasn't had much moments to shine since then. And this is where I remind Krillin there's a lot of people in this scenario and I gotta give everybody their time to shine, otherwise it's boring. He continues asking about the Super Saiyan God, but none of the Saiyans have any idea what he's talking about. He then tells them to power up into their maximum powered forms. He wants to see them at their best. Tien, Krillin, and Yamcha show off their ultimate form. Beerus finds it fascinating because they didn't really look like they changed much, but their power is definitely increased a lot. Goku and Vegeta power up as well, transforming into Super Saiyan 4 or Beast Saiyan as it's known in this What If. Very red, very primal, their energy is very aggressive, Beerus notes. He turns to Gohan, a hybrid, and asks him to show him his power. This causes Gohan to reveal his newfound transformation, something he's worked with Piccolo. He transforms into his version of a Beast Saiyan, but his hair is white and his eyes are red. Very demure. He looks around at Vegeta and Goku, telling him that he thinks this transformation has something to do with him being a half Saiyan. And then he points to Goten and Trunks, saying they might be able to have this power one day as well. Now Beerus begins salivating. The power all the Saiyans have combined is truly impressive, and he demands they all battle him at once. 3 Ultimate Saiyans, 2 Super Saiyan 4 Saiyans, and Beast Gohan. Beerus chuckles as they surround him. The battle is insane, and it's not long as Beerus immediately realizes he has to use way more of his power than he did in canon. His destructive techniques, his godly speed, his godly power is something the Saiyans have never experienced before. He's at a whole new level, a level they never knew existed. He begins dispatching the Saiyans one by one until Beast Gohan is the last one standing. He finishes the fight, knocking him out, and he sighs. He's actually content. He scratches his head, but he wishes he got to battle the Super Saiyan God. If the Saiyans are this powerful without God Ki, with God Ki, they would be on par with him, right? They would truly give him the match he's been dreaming about forever. Whis then suggests, after looking at the Z Saiyans, why not just wish for a Super Saiyan God? This leads to Shenron being summoned, and Beerus actually chooses Krillin to receive the power of the Super Saiyan God. He wants to battle the Saiyan that defeated Frieza. He never liked that worm anyways. Beerus is actually a tiny bit tired from his previous match, and he has to fight hard against Super Saiyan God Krillin. Eventually, of course, he wins, and he is super happy. The Saiyans make excellent playthings for him. Whis concurs, though he views the Saiyans as potential replacements for Lord Beerus. Now this leads to all the Saiyans going to Beerus' world to learn from Whis, while Piccolo, Goten, and Trunks stay behind to protect the Earth. Also, there's no way that Bulma and Chi-Chi are letting them train with a god of destruction. They'd much rather just hand him to Orange Piccolo, who's everybody's uncle, basically. Now, Gohan cannot deny Beerus the pleasure of training with him, so he actually has Goku use instant transmission to bring him back and forth. This allows him to balance both his work life and his training. On Beerus' world, Vegeta and Goku become Super Saiyan gods after harnessing God Ki, while the Z Saiyans actually absorb the god form into their ultimate forms. Beast Gohan also absorbs God Ki into his Beast Saiyan form. Though he can transform into a base Super Saiyan god if he wants, it is much less strain on him. Now, unfortunately for Frieza, there is no Resurrection F saga because the Frieza Force gets wiped out by Piccolo, Goten, and Trunks when they try to steal the Dragon Balls. And one day, while training on Lord Beerus' planet, his brother Champa arrives and challenges Beerus to a Universe 6 tournament. And before Beerus can even get a word in, Goku screams, "We're in!" He's been absolutely itching for a fight, and he's grinning like the goofy boy he is. The Universe 6 tournament is different this time because we have 6 Saiyans on Team Universe 7. Gohan, Goku, Vegeta, Tien, Krillin, and Yamcha. This causes Champa to rethink his strategy, and he decides to make his team Caulifla, Kale, Kaba, Hit, Botamo, and Frost. Days later, everyone gathers at Capsule Corp and they fly to the tournament. Tien, Krillin, and Yamcha are excited to test their ultimate forms against Universe 6. Now, Yamcha is the first one up for Team Universe 7. He steps in, ready to face Frost, and knowing how Frieza is, he was already on edge, so Frost's manipulations will not work on him. He sees right through him and Yamcha confidently kicks his ass. He then proceeds to knock out Botamo. He faces off against fellow Saiyan Kaba, and he tells him, "Hey little dude, why don't they take this up to Super Saiyan?" And Kaba is confused. What the hell is a Super Saiyan? Yamcha also notices his tail is gone, and Kaba says he's never had a tail. No one on the planet Sadala does. Yamcha then powers down from his ultimate form and transforms into Super Saiyan, the energy crackling around him as Kale, Caulifla, and Kaba all get intensely intrigued. Caulifla is basically foaming at the mouth at this point. He then powers back up into his ultimate form before explaining his potential unlocked. He tries to help him transform, but unfortunately Yamcha is not Vegeta and he eventually KOs Kaba. Caulifla is the next one up and she calls Kaba pathetic as she begins to fight Yamcha. Now, despite being a scrappy punk as Whis describes her, she eventually figures out how to go Super Saiyan. Back tingles go burr. In her newfound Super Saiyan form, she begins to battle with Ultimate Yamcha. Her power continues rising and rising, but unfortunately for her, Yamcha is too much for her, and despite trying to flirt, he ends up knocking her out. Now, unfortunately for him, this causes Kale to go absolutely berserk as she enters the ring. She transforms into her legendary form and beats the piss out of Yamcha, sending him flying out of the ring. She stands there panting, exuding energy as Tien steps into the ring. Tien begins his fight and he eventually falls to the berserk Kale. Krillin then steps up and he too is no match against her. It is up to Beast Gohan and he begins to battle Kale as the energy begins exploding around the arena. Beast Gohan gets enough of a break to charge up a special beam cannon, knocking out Kale. Piccolo smiles while in the stands. He's glad his pupil is using his technique. Goku is next up, and he faces off against Universe 6's greatest assassin, Hit, also their last hope. Now, their battle is epic, but considering how much time it took for Gohan to beat Kale, it stopped as Grand Zeno himself arrives. And Goku's frustration quickly turns to joy as Zeno proposes a multiverse tournament from all the different universes. The two gods of destruction are absolutely horrified at this suggestion because they have no idea what the punishment for losing such tournament would be. And all the meanwhile, multiverse peeping Tom Zamasu is watching as well. And he heard something interesting. He heard Yamcha mention to Kaba that he actually wished to become a Saiyan. He wasn't born one. And then he saw the power the Saiyans possess, and it made him stroke his evil mustache if he had one. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to end this part off right here. But let me know what you guys thought about this scenario in the comments down below. And what do you guys think is going to be next? Don't forget to hit subscribe for more because I think the finale is going to be next week.